Queen Anne's County is home to one of the state's leading manufacturers of rigid hull inflatable boats.
Oceancraft Marine is a company that I helped co-found about 14 years ago. We design and build boats specifically for professional mariners. So military, law enforcement, fire, search and rescue, worldwide, right here from Kent Island, Maryland.
The boat's lightweight hulls, inflatable side tubes, and powerful engines make them ideal for life-saving operations on the water.
All of our end users operate in what we call the no-failure zone. So they're going out in very arduous conditions, either to protect or save lives.
When the Francis Scott Key Bridge collapsed in March of 2024, the first boat on the scene was a high-performance vessel, custom-built for the Maryland Transportation Authority Police Marine Unit by Oceancraft Marine.
Obviously, the call for that bridge collapse came in the wee hours of the morning, so that particular officer arrived on scene in about 15 minutes. We were overwhelmed to be a part of it. There's no reward greater than the feeling and the satisfaction that you get from helping to save lives. It's my passion. It's the reason I'm doing what I'm doing, and I love doing it.
The innovative design allows operators to glide effortlessly over waves, ensuring a dynamic and stable experience on the water.
It interacts with the surface of the water. When the boat is entering successive wave action, that tube set flexes, and that flex dissipates the energy of the wave action away from the boat and away from the operators.
Once the basic form and function of the hull is finalized, custom features are added to the structure.
Today, we're going to finish the final assembly of this 8-meter law enforcement boat. The only difference between the artist's renderings and the boat we're working on today is the brand of motor is different. The first step in that today is to mount the T-top, which we're going to do right now. Stone, David, you want to grab that top and bring it over? We build everything. We build the hull, we build the tube set, the console, all the above-deck infrastructure and the T-tops, pilot houses. So we're in control of all facets of it. The only thing that we don't build, obviously, are the motors and the electronics. These we purchase. After the T-top is mounted, we continue with the final assembly. We'll mount the windscreen. We'll install the helm and the electronics. On this particular boat, the helm is fly-by-wire. It's fully digital. It's electronic digital steering, plug and play. So in the third phase of final assembly, it's when we mount the outboard engine or engines. This engine's about a 700-pound engine. It's a pretty heavy motor. You need an engine lift or a forklift to handle this motor. As you can see in this case, they're carefully adjusting the height of the engine so that the anti-cavitation plate is parallel with the running surface of the boat. But it should be properly aligned with the running surface, and that's how you know the motor is at the correct height for the design of the vessel. What we call the aft A-frame equipment arch is for mounting lighting and electronics. It's a platform that we can mount equipment to. And in this particular design, it's integrated with the outboard motor guard. Protects $30,000 worth of motor from impacts. Finish the boat, take it to the water for a sea trial. Our organization is vertically integrated, and everyone wears many hats.
Manufacturing boats on Kent Island is awesome. I can come down, I get to work with my hands, I get to be outside, be on the water. Before this, I was going to school to be an accountant and work with my uncle at his firm. And then the realization of I didn't want to be at a desk all day, every day hit. I then found fast boats through Todd Salus. One of our boats saved a life, and then I was hooked. You feel like you're making a difference. I never thought I'd be a manufacturer, but some of the benefits that I've come to find out were just being kind of my own boss and not behind a desk. It's amazing.
I grew up in the boating industry. My father owned and operated a local company. So my brother and I, we spent our summers scraping and sanding boats and painting them. And I was enlisted in the Navy for 8 years. I was medically retired in 2008. The things that happened during that time in the service is you come back and you re-enter civilian life and try to go back to your civilian jobs. And things change. For many and myself, my civilian job just didn't matter. It didn't seem that it was very important in the grand scheme of things. So I knew I needed to find a new focus, something that was very important as the time that I had spent downrange doing the mission. In order to stay focused, working to support the professional mariners did just that.
Supporting the professional mariner has transformed into a vital mission in its own right.
Several years back, the leadership at Oceancraft Marine decided to create this accelerator for innovation in the maritime ecosystem. Project Perfect Storm describes the industry collaboration and their latest innovations, incorporating them into what is now one platform, one of Oceancraft Marine's 11.5-meter offshore interceptors, as the chosen platform for everyone's innovations and their engineering talents.
The initiative aims to design vessels that minimize injuries during rough seas caused by crashing into waves.
As any boat encounters wave action, there are G-forces or slamming loads, and the energy is all transmitted through the boat, and as it's transmitted through the human body, it's actually amplified. So a slamming load or an impact that is 1 or 2 Gs on the hull, by the time it gets to the cervical spine, it could be anywhere from 5 Gs, it could be 40 Gs. And so you have this whiplash effect. For our military operators, to CTE, brain injuries, to cervical spinal injuries, very few are escaping without some of those injuries. When I first started operating small boats in the Navy, there was no shock mitigation technology. Your knees and your hips were your shock mitigation operating high-speed boats. I've thus far had 3 spinal cord surgeries, including one rather recently in my cervical spine.
Innovations from Project Perfect Storm have reduced slamming impacts and peak G-forces by a remarkable 77%.
Project Perfect Storm, it seems now that it was a natural place to end up based upon our motivations and where we were going. But we're really just getting started with the project.